I started my career in nonprofit, so I'm very interested in issues. I'm interested in dynamic social change. I'm interested in wherever I work, trying to improve the world a little bit, right? And so I think I've been very drawn to companies where there was a commitment to sustainability, there was a commitment to ethical practice, there was a commitment to responsible mining, all those things that contribute to making the world better. Trying to tell their story and engaging in creative ways with the culture to bring those stories to the population. One of the really exciting things we did at the very beginning of Forevermark is take Julianne Moore down to South Africa and Botswana to really see the value chain, to see the mining, to see the cutting and polishing, to see the sorting, etc. And once we'd done that, we gave a party in Los Angeles during the week leading up to the Oscars. And we invited in Festus Mogai, who was the previous president of Botswana. So he was able to come to this cocktail party and really talk about how diamonds have literally transformed the economy of Botswana. And to me, that was a very sort of successful way of trying to tell the story to consumers of how it's not just something pretty and decorative, it's actually something which is fundamentally contributing to the economy and the quality of life in those communities where diamonds are mined. So it was just a perfect moment for us. The Love Gold campaign was really about trying to incite a positive response for gold jewelry among a younger demographic of consumers. It was probably the most inventive project I've ever worked in. It was highly creative. So it was really about creating a community of people and immersing them in gold and exciting them about gold. And we produced incredible content that was glamorous and exciting and highly accessible for that millennial audience. So it was a very exciting campaign. With the Gemfields project, it was really a true collaboration in that we were able to work the whole season with Ruth and with her stylist, Carla Welsh, who is a brilliant woman, and say, this is the product, let's see what we can do with it. And I really regard that as one of the most satisfying campaigns of my career. I mean, I think it was absolutely of the moment. We were able to work with Carla in many different ways, give a lot of profile to the Gemfields stones, give a lot of support to a lot of designers. And frankly, I think in terms of fashion and style, Ruth Negga won the Oscars. I worked for Elizabeth Taylor at the American Foundation for AIDS Research, and the first trip I went on with her, we went to Bangkok for a big AIDS benefit, which was being organized by the royal family. And at some point during the trip, she said to me, you have to buy something while we're here. And I said, I can't possibly afford to buy anything. And she said, just buy something. You have to start with something because every jewelry collection starts with the first one. So she encouraged me to buy these two little sapphires. They're about a carat each. It was $100. I really agonized over it because it was a lot of money for me then, but that was my first self-purchase piece of jewelry. And that's where the addiction started. I moved out of the city 3 days before my son had to go to kindergarten, and the short answer to why we live here is because I was so terrified about getting him into private school in New York, and I couldn't figure out the process, and I didn't know what I was doing. So we moved out here right before he was 5, and we've been here ever since. And we have beautiful places to walk, we have trails, we're able to have animals, and we have the kind of life that I wanted him to grow up in, which is being a little bit closer to nature and a little bit closer to the things that are meaningful. Many of the precious things that are part of jewelry are deeply connected to old cultures, and I think that is a story that is actually very interesting to a younger consumer. I think young consumers are very interested in knowing, for example, where their coffee came from, where the food they eat came from, and I think if we can tell those stories better and better about the constituent parts of our pieces in this business, we can do pretty well. And that's the sort of challenge I'd like to take on.